I am very excited to share with you what the Lord has done in my life. Although it was 19 years ago, I still remember it as if it was yesterday. My son, my oldest child, Gerard, was 4, almost 5 years old. He had been diagnosed with asthma in June of that year, and this was October. I got a call from the babysitter to tell me that I needed to come and pick him up. When I arrived at her house, he immediately started crying when he saw me, and I was like, Gerard, just get in the car, and stuff. And she was like, no, no, this is different. I was so immune to the seriousness of it because prior to that, we had gone to the hospital several times, and they told me that he he just has a little pneumonia. Just do this, do that. So I just didn't even really think it was serious. So much so that I stopped and paid a bill and went to my office across town, and then I went home, gave him a breathing treatment. After I gave him the breathing treatment, what was interesting, other than other times, is that it didn't work. I mean, it was like I gave it to him. It normally would last maybe an hour or 2 hours, and then I could give him another one. Well, it didn't. And so I was like, but I still was not alarmed. Called his dad, who was an RN. He was working in another town, and just asked him, tried to get in touch with him, but then I called his dad rather, and asked him, I said, when he comes in, would you please ask him to stop by my house? And when he did, he called me. Now, the first miracle that I would consider a miracle is that he told me he actually came instead of telling me to come to his house, because if he had told me to come to his house, I wouldn't have gone. So he came to our house. He listened to my son, and he knew that he was in serious trouble, but he did not want to alarm me. He just said, call the doctor. We called the doctor. Second miracle, they had an appointment that they could get us in that afternoon. We went. The doctor listened to his chest and immediately looked at us and said, he is in serious trouble. I'm sending him straight to the hospital. We're going to take him straight to pediatrics ICU. Took him over there. They admitted him. I'm still not knowing how serious it is. Looked at his dad and said, do you think they're going to keep him overnight? I mean, I'm just so immune because we have been to the hospital so many times. I'm not even thinking this is serious. I go home, packing, ironing, running a bubble bath and all of that. My sister gives me a call, and she asks me where I am and tells me that I need to come back immediately. I get to the hospital. When I walk in the room, doctors are surrounding his bed. I'm looking at his dad. His dad is not saying anything. The doctor pulls me aside and tells me that he's in serious trouble. We need to put him on a ventilator. They put my son on a ventilator, and this is like maybe I think a Tuesday. That next day, we go in, and I mean, we're there. He tells us that night, he said he might not even make it through the night. So I'm there. My sister gets there. We're praying, just believing God that, something happened. Everybody is praying. I mean, people that I don't even know are praying for my son. The very next day, the doctor calls. I could see him. I'm in the waiting area, and I could see all of a sudden that him walking in really, really fast. And when he walks, they call us in, and they tell us that they show us the x-rays of how his lungs looked earlier and how his lungs look right there then. And he said, we need to transfer him to the University Hospital, which is a trauma hospital. And at this point, I mean, I have been calm the whole time. At this point, I'm just like about to fall to pieces. Everybody from my church, I mean, people are just, coming. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody. And I just break down. They transfer my son to the hospital, and he's in pediatric ICU, or he's in ICU. We're not allowed to stay with him. And he is in serious trouble. He can't talk. He has tubes and everything coming out of him. And so we're not allowed to stay in the room with him or anything. We have to go into what they call a sleep room. We go in there and we sleep at night, and we go the next day. And over the course of a period of time, he begins to get better. Another little boy was in there at the same time, and I think my son got much better before he did. And as the years went on, because he got well enough, and he did end up going to the hospital several more times. But I think the real miracle in it is that at 4, almost 5, he almost died. And as a high schooler, he played football, he ran track, he got a scholarship to play football at one of the colleges here. He also had tried out for one of the D1B school, and he played football for them. And I am just so grateful for the goodness of God and what he did in his life, because where the enemy would have come in and tried to take his life at such a young age, God was able to come in, not only heal him, but show that he could still, with asthma, run track, play football, and excel in those things, because he also made the Metro Cities team first string and the All-State team second string. So I'm just thankful for the goodness of the Lord and for this opportunity to share this testimony. Thank you.